probably dead. His body will come popping up in the last reel somewhere. Eyes gouged out, fingers cut off, teeth knocked out. See, the police are always off track with this shit. If they watch prom night, they'd save time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Here's Johnny. Groovy.
Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the world of Fandom Frequency Network, baby, where we cover everything in the fandom multiverse, baby. Obviously, we've been covering a lot of horror, and we be doing all kinds of stuff, man. Superhero movies, crime thrillers, man, psychological thrillers, you know what I'm saying? Star Wars, anime, comic books. We're actually looking at launching some more music-driven content. So we got a lot of great plans coming for you, y'all. So make sure you stay tuned on that. And the best way to do that is clicking that bell button below the video. Click and subscribe, like all that jazz. It helps the show immensely. We appreciate all the new subscribers coming in as usual, and all the people that have been sticking around with us for the long haul, all our day oneers. We appreciate and love every single one of you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, guys. I really do. Guys, ladies, everyone in between, baby. We welcome everyone around the world here into our community of Fandom Frequency, baby. So make sure you stay tuned in, man, because we got a fun one to get into today. Obviously, y'all see the thumbnail before you click and play. So we're talking about the latest, or one of the latest films in 2022 in the horror genre. It was directed and written by a man I'm not familiar with, Zach Kreger, and that is the film Barbarian, man. Wow. Wow. Up top, I'm not even going to lead into it and tease y'all. I absolutely love this movie. It is fucking awesome. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I didn't even watch a full trailer for this thing, because here's the thing. Now, I heard of a movie called Barbarian coming out from a lot of the Comic-Con interviews coming out back in July for SDCC, and for those that don't know, San Diego Comic-Con. And I was watching one of my favorite journalists, Perry Nemiroff. Shout outs to her. I love her interviews. And I was actually watching her, and she did an interview with one of my favorite actors of all time. I really, really love this guy, and I hope I get to meet him someday in some fashion or form. Justin Long, man. This guy is a national treasure. He is literally the most underrated actor to me in Hollywood. I love this guy. So humble, so down to earth, so talented, so versatile.
He's winging it.
Shouldn't we all have the chance to be said yes to? At South Harmon, we say yes to you. We say yes to your hopes. We say yes to your dreams. We say yes to your flaws. So welcome. Grab a room, grab a friend, grab yourself. We don't give a shit. Welcome to South Harmon Institute of Technology.
You know what I mean? The man's been in films for at least since 99, so he's going on almost his 25-year career, man. This man's great, and he was doing an interview about his latest film, Barbarian, right? And I was like, what is this movie, Barbarian? What is that? Is it about barbarians, literally? And he's like, no. It's a horror film, da-da-da-da-da. It's really great. And when all the people started seeing the early screenings of the film, people were raving about it. People were shouting from the rooftops, this shit is awesome. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, okay, all right, let me see what this is all about. But then I kept hearing, I saw some different YouTubers out there reviewing the film, and they were saying, hey, I went in blind, and I think you should too. Don't watch no trailers. This thing is a wild ride. It's about people renting an Airbnb, and two people end up at the same place, and they rented the same thing at the same time, unknown to each other. And you got Bill Skarsgård playing one of those guys. Forgot to get down the name. I think it's Craig. Hold on. Give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me put some factoids in it. Hold on. And I ain't talking Good Charlotte. Hold on a second. All my When We Were Young fans, I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Let me see. I'm checking this IMDb because I just want to get the character name here just so I don't want to give you guys a good thorough review here, man. Give me a second. Keith, there you go. I kept thinking Ken. I guess I'm thinking about my own name. I don't know why. But Keith, he plays a character named Keith. And you got a fabulous actress I was not familiar with playing kind of like the lead final girl, kind of like our main protagonist of the film, Tess Marshall, played by the immensely talented, from the looks of it here, Georgina Campbell. God damn, these British actors, man. I saw her in an interview right before I did this thing, and she has a British accent or something like that. I'm like, God damn, how do you do this stuff, people? It's like they learn how to do like they have to know our accent in order to become an actor in any school they go to over there. It's freaking crazy. But yeah, Georgina Campbell is the main character here. She comes to get her Airbnb. She's in town going for a big job as a researcher for a documentary, right? So she's there. Keith is already there. Bill Skarsgård, of course. We all float down here. And he's like, oh, yeah, come on in. Don't stay out in the rain, blah, 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 blah. And then shit goes crazy 30, 40 minutes into this thing, right? But anyway, so I heard the setup of this thing, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch any full trailers. I'm going to wait until I have a chance to check it out in the theaters. I didn't really get a chance to. Got a little too busy and all that. So it dropped on HBO Max the day before I'm recording this. And I was like, okay, I got some time right quick I can kill. I got some free time. Let me go ahead and check this thing out. And it absolutely blew my mind. This thing is so well done. Zach Kreger, give this man the keys to the castle. Let him direct whatever the fuck he wants, dude. This thing is so well crafted and set up from jump. And I love the whole setup with Tess and Keith. They kind of have a little bit of a thing going. You know that Keith's really interested in her. You know, Tess is obviously a very beautiful woman. So he's like, okay, maybe I can kind of spin this and get me a little something, something. Maybe this was a nice, pleasant surprise, to say the least. He's got the bottle of wine. He's like, hey, I didn't want to open it before you came out of the shower. And I don't want to be a weirdo, but I'm not a weirdo, I promise. And they end up having a lot in common. He's a part of this jazz group, the Lion Tamers, that she went and watched a documentary about, made by the same filmmaker she's interviewing with. So I love that whole connection and that whole full circle thing, because, you know, the world is a big place, but sometimes it's a little smaller than we think, right? So I love that whole initial setup there with those characters. But once she goes into that damn basement, shit hits the fan, man. She discovers the rope in the wall and all that, opens up this secret door in the basement that leads to a hallway with this weird-ass creepy room that looks like Jigsaw was using it for a while, but Tobin Bell got too old and got out of there. No offense to him. And then you see another secret door that leads to like this literal fucking dungeon-looking thing. And I'm like, girl, don't go down there. And at first she's like, nope. And I'm like, all right, good. But then, you know, you got to go down there. And then she ends up telling Keith. They go down there together. Keith's like, or not together, but Keith goes down there first. He's like, all right, let me see what the hell you're tripping out about. A room with a camera and a secret door. Hold on. Let me see what you're talking about with a bucket in there. Is there piss in there? No? Whatever. Let me go check it out. So Keith, with his dumb ass, goes down there. And then he ends up getting caught up with this crazy ass person mutant thing that is called the Mother. We'll get more into her in a bit. Wow. She slams a motherfucker's head against the wall like it's WWE, but they're fighting on the streets for real. Smashes his fucking head in. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Where'd that come from? Whoa. This film just took a whole fucking 180 so fast. And then our girl Tess gets attacked by the girl, and then it cuts to black, and I'm like, what the fuck? What is it? Where are we going? What are we doing? Come to find out, we're jumping over to my boy Justin Long's character, AJ Gilbride, who is a somewhat popular actor. Seems like he's kind of popping almost more in the movie than he is in real life, or kind of in the same sphere, I guess. And he's like an actor that's going out for this sitcom, and they just shot the pilot, right? And he's going down the street singing Ricky Ticky, something by a group called Donovan, and I was just listening to that jam. It's a good song, man. It's got a Beatles, Rolling Stones vibe. Check that shit out when you got a chance. But yeah, he's over there singing, doing his thing, and then he gets a call on his phone. He's driving down the road, and a woman that he works with, an actress, I should say, that he's working with, has accused him of sexual harassment, rape, something of the like, right? And he's like, what the fuck? This bitch lying. Hey, I didn't do it. What the fuck's going on here? What's gonna happen? No pilot, brother. You out. She's in. What? I recommended her, bro. He's like, what the fuck is going on here? But as we progress through the film, we find out that he owns the house on 497, whatever the street, but I think it was 497 was the address. He owns this house where all the crazy shit is going down with the Barbarian stuff back in Michigan, I believe. I don't know if it's Detroit necessarily. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. But he goes back to, he has to liquidate, sell some assets because his career is going to go down the drain from these accusations. And I like the timely thing of going into that subject right now with all, the Me Too movement and all these different actors and actresses and performers, producers, directors, whatever, what have you, are all getting exposed for the fucked up things they're doing. And there's a lot of accusations flying around that aren't even true or unfounded, too. So it's really crazy what's going on in the entertainment space right now. But a lot of it is definitely necessary so we can get these creeps out of Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? But I like how Zach Kreger implemented this into the film to set up AJ Gilbride's character and what he is, what he's about, what his past is, and what his arc is inevitably gonna be throughout the movie a little bit, right? So I like the way that he's using this real life context stuff to put into this film to add a little bit of depth, add a little bit of realism to the character without making him completely irredeemable, but at the same time not shying away from the fucked up stuff he apparently did, because it's very heavily hinted at that he did do it. He has a conversation with his buddy at the bar and he's saying, yeah, man, at first she wasn't into it and I kind of got her into it, then she was down, we're fucking whatever, and then now it looks like she's turned the tables. But as we see later on, once he kind of and then he ends up getting trapped in this thing because he sees the secret passage thing, because he gets to the house and he's like, is somebody squatting in my fucking house? He calls the real estate people, I think, and he's like, hey, what the fuck is going on? There's people with shit in my house. So somebody put out this Airbnb that we don't know about. And I was like, wait a minute. And I still don't think we got the answer by the end of the film. I don't know if I'm just stoops. Y'all let me know in the comments if I missed something. But they never told us who set up this Airbnb situation online for them to rent. I don't even know how they did it, because Richard Brake's character of Frank, the motherfucker that started this whole thing, bought the house and had the house back in the 70s, kidnapping, knocking up women and making these weird ass hybrid, almost like incestual type people and all this shit. And that's what the mother crazy killer character comes from and all that. He owned it and he's still under there and he's been staying there for 40 years or some shit. He's sick as a dog and everything. And then he's the one that kickstarted all this crazy shit. But AJ doesn't know this yet. AJ's like, what the fuck is going on? Why are there people squatting here? Are you going to do something about it? I'm like, nah, not really. Figure it out, bro. So he's like, fine, fuck y'all then. So he's chilling, doing his thing. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to go see how much square footage is in here. Because he sees that it looks like someone's in the, looks like somebody went into the basement. So he goes in there and he's like, okay. Oh, no, he hears something. And he's like, I got a gun up here, bro. Don't fuck with me. And he doesn't actually have a gun, but he's smartly saying something like that to try to scare somebody that's in there. He's thinking it's like a hobo or something. Nobody answers, of course. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to go check this out. And he gets his tape measure to get the overall square footage because he discovers the secret room with the rope through the wall and all this shit, right? And it's crazy. And then he discovers that. He goes down there, and he ends up getting trapped into the little dungeon with Tess. And then they got to team up to get the hell out of here. And I gotta tell you, man, in this second half of the film, when all the real horror shit is hitting the fan, it is so well done. Super well-placed jump scares. Fantastic acting. Character decisions that actually, for the most part, make sense. You know what I'm saying? Excellent acting on everyone's part, especially the character of the mother, the crazy woman killer that wants to breastfeed everybody and treat them like they're babies, right? And AJ, you should have drank the milk, buddy, because you got to get it from the nip now. Ooh, that's disturbing shit. And that character was played by an unknown actor, kind of, but someone that's not really known yet. But this man needs to be getting a lot more work, man. Might be the next Doug Jones or something, But Matthew Patrick Davis played the mother. And he did such a phenomenal job of being creepy, intense, and somewhat almost sympathetic in certain moments. And so scary. Jumping down, popping up out of nowhere. Excuse me. And it's fantastic stuff, man. And as AJ and Tess got to team up to try to get out of here, AJ gets distracted and runs into Frank, and he's thinking that Frank's in trouble too. But he doesn't realize Frank's behind this shit. He discovers all these creepy tapes, and he's like, the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You sick fuck? And then Richard Brake's character of Frank pulls out the gun, and he shoots himself. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Huh? Like, this movie, you can't predict anything with this fucking movie. It always has these twists and turns and different things going on, man. Like I said, it's so well done. It's so well crafted. The score of this film is so well placed and creepy and eerie. It really gets you there, man. They go into a little bit of synth. They go into a little bit of orchestral, kind of blending the best of both worlds for the score, especially in the horror genre. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. And even the flashbacks with the character of Frank and fleshing out how this house was even established to begin with and how things kind of how the dominoes got lined up to kind of get knocked down to this point where we are now. And that, I hadn't even gotten to the character of Andre, the hobo guy played by James Butler. I don't know why this man isn't more famous. He's a great actor too. The man's in his early 60s. Get this guy out there before he retires. Come on, guys. But he did a phenomenal job. He fills him in on a lot of the backstory and whatnot and helps Tess to get the fuck out of there. And eventually, Tess ends up going back to get AJ out. And this is where shit gets even crazier, man, because AJ, man, just such an asshole. I can't believe he throws Tess off of the top of the water tower thing they're on to try to distract the mother character to go diving after her. And luckily, the mutant mother lady, she jumped, grabbed Tess, turned her around, and fell on her back, with Tess falling onto her chest, so she ends up living. But AJ is just such an asshole. Like, you understand where he's coming from certain decisions, and you understand that self-preservation of wanting to make sure you survive the situation and all that. And I can't believe that they made a character for Justin Long to play that I absolutely hate. I've never seen him in anything where I absolutely hate him. And I know there's a movie called Frank and Lola or something like that where he kind of plays like kind of a douchey guy in a different way, kind of swooping in on Michael Shannon's lady or whatever, played by Imogen Poots. But that's a whole separate topic for another day. But other than that one movie, this is the only other movie I've ever seen where Justin Long is not completely irredeemable, but just an asshole I don't kind of like. You know what I'm saying? Very charismatic and does the role very well. It's Justin Long. The man never phones in a single performance ever. But he just did such a phenomenal job of making you want to root for him to get out of the situation just because it's a fucked up situation. But the decisions and the things that he makes and the way that he treats people just shows you that he is an asshole. And there's this one moment when they're talking to Andre around the fire in Andre's place that he set up there. And he's saying, like, maybe I did bad things and I've done some fucked up things and I've hurt people. Maybe I'm a bad person, or maybe I'm a good person that's done bad things. And I'm like, wow, man, like that's such an interesting dichotomy that we've all had to wrestle with at one point or another. And the way that he delivers that makes you really feel for him, right? But then he turns around and does that thing to Tess, and you're like, fuck you, man. But he gets his because the mother gets a hold of my boy Justin Long and splits his head open from the front. I repeat, splits his head open from the front. What the fuck, man? That's insanity. It's crazy. It's fucking insane. I love this movie, man. It's just so much great stuff, man. Such great character work. Awesome visual effects for the gore. No CGI blood or bullshit. You're the man, Zach Kreger. I even saw an interview with him that he said, like, I did everything in camera, no CG bullshit. Whenever I see that, it takes me right out with horror films. So we didn't put any of that in here. Thank you for getting back to basics, brother. We need more of that. Stop with the CGI in fucking horror movies unless it's like Event Horizon horror sci-fi shit. Stop it. Seriously. Stop it, Blumhouse. Stop it. I'm just joking. It's not just you, but it's not just them. But come on, man. Stop with the CGI stuff. And that's another thing I love with this movie. The pacing is fucking phenomenal, man. All the tonal shifts, all the twists and turns. This film is completely impossible to predict when you're watching it and have not seen it. It is insane, man. I am so inundated with all this stuff, right? Watching horror films from most of my entire life. And I still couldn't see some of the twists and turns coming. Great jump scares that I didn't even see coming because he doesn't do the stereotypical oh, wait, boom, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just like, bam, in your fucking face when you don't even think there's going to be a jump scare. And I'm like, thank you for getting some of that James Wan energy. Thank you, sir. I'm like, that's good stuff, man. And the cinematography and the overall direction and the editing and everything with this film, so well done. So well done, man. It is so great with the different transitions and things they're doing. Even the closing credits where they have the oldie song "Be My Baby" playing when Tess is limping away, trying to get away from the situation after her homeboy just got killed off. She shoots the mother in the head and she's walking off, and they're intercutting these moments in the credits. It's so awesome, man. Absolutely love this thing. The only real minor nitpicky thing I have with this film is I'm not sure if they addressed it, but who booked the Airbnb? Who set this up? Or a hint of that would have been nice. Maybe I missed something, like I mentioned earlier. Just let me know in the comments if I did. But that kind of bothered me just a little bit, a little teensy bit. And also, I did think the cops, when Tess went to go, when she got out of the house to go get those cops to try to get them to come back to the house to help her, I know she looks a little rough, but I don't know if she necessarily looks like a true blue crackhead. I've seen a lot of druggies and crackheads, man, especially where I used to work, and I have to deal with them on a regular basis. Now, I understand you're going to judge people that look a little rough and kind of be like, I don't know about you or whatever. And I know people, you ain't supposed to judge a book by its cover, but I think we all do to a certain extent. And I understand that to a point, but I think the cops were just a little bit too dismissive of her character. Just a little bit. But once they hear the shots fired, I understand they got to prioritize shots fired over some lady saying some crazy shit. So I understand. I get it. They don't want cops intervening and getting too much of that. So I guess Zach Kreger kind of wanted to get away from that scenario. But introducing her trying to get help was very much needed in the film. So I'm not saying it's like a huge negative for me. It's a really, really minor nitpick. And I think they could have fleshed out Tessa's character kind of with just more of her past a little bit more, just to get more of a sense of who she was kind of leading into this film. But you get a lot of who she is as a character through her actions. So they're doing a lot of showing, not telling, but I think just a little more telling would have been nice. Maybe that's just me. But other than those few nitpicks, I absolutely love this movie, man. I love this movie. And it's going to be very rewatchable because now going back, you're going to be looking for all these little details and hints to certain things. It's so awesome. And this is a movie that I'm going to get on that shelf one day and keep showing all my friends, family, and all that, significant others, whatever, and be like, hey, have you seen Barbarian? We got to watch this shit. I ain't going to tell you nothing. Wait and see what happens and see if you can predict it. It's going to be one of those fun movies to show on like a movie day, a movie night or whatever. It's going to be a really fun watch for sure. And I really recommend it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a horror fan, there's no way you're not going to like this movie, man. I can't see that. Honestly. This movie is phenomenal. Everybody needs to go run out and see it at your local theater. I think it's still out in theaters for a little bit longer. Get your HBO Max subscription. Get your free trial. Whatever you got to do. Borrow your best friend's password. You know what I'm saying? Get in your girl's profile. Whatever you got to do, get on it. This movie is phenomenal, man. I'm giving this movie a big fat old 9.5 out of 10. I love this fucking movie. If it wasn't for a few minor nitpicks that I kind of picked out throughout the film, it'd be a flawless movie, at least in my opinion, man. You know, and I know I grade things kind of high sometimes, but I love this movie, man. I've had 24 hours to kind of sit and think about it roughly, and I really do love this movie and don't have much negative to say, and it absolutely blew me away, and going in blind is so important for this movie. You need to go in blind. Trust me. It actually adds to the enjoyment of the movie quite a bit, and I wish we kind of had that more, or marketing that didn't necessarily give away everything, because I did go back afterwards and watch the trailer, and it doesn't necessarily spill the beans on everything. You just know there's something going on in the basement. You don't know what. But I like that I had no clue of anything other than the poster of her looking down the stairs. I'm like, what does that mean? What are we doing here? So it's great stuff. I absolutely recommend this movie to anyone and everyone, as long as you're not too squeamish, because the gore, when it goes there, it goes there. Phenomenal movie. Can't wait to buy this thing and watch it again and own it and have it. You know, and I hope it stays on HBO Max for the foreseeable future. So one way or the other, I'm going to be watching this movie every several months. This thing is awesome. I love this movie. There's no way it ain't going to be in my top 10 movies of the year. And there's no way it ain't going to be in my top 5, top 10 horror movies. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do a top 5, top 10. You let me know if you have a preference. But I'm definitely going to be doing like a top 10, top 5 list of horror movies at the end of the year. And we're definitely doing a top 10 movies and TV shows, just to kind of do a quick tangent. But yeah, this is going to be in that top 10. I'm just telling you right now. I don't know where yet, but it's going to be in there. I didn't think anything was going to blow me away like this, man. You know, The Black Phone, X, I haven't seen Pearl yet, but X, Black Phone, and Scream 5 for me were just great movies, great watch. You know, Scream has a special place in my heart, if you couldn't tell already. I love that. Favorite horror franchise, but this movie is phenomenal and possibly better than all those movies, at least to me. So go out, check this movie out, and make sure you click that subscribe, y'all. We got a lot of great spooky content going in for the remainder of the season. 6 more days. Oh, no, wait, sorry. 5 more days till Halloween, y'all. So make sure you stay in tune with it. We got all the spooky season stuff coming, and we're going to be covering a lot of different stuff too, guys. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is right around the corner. Tales of the Jedi, the new Star Wars animated series. We're going to be covering that next week. And we're going to be doing Andor weekly recaps for every single episode, all 12, every week. Me and my boy Skippy, 90% of the time, are going to be breaking those down every single Wednesday. So make sure you check that out later on, man. But until we see you next time, guys, make sure you stay safe out there. Look out for your loved ones. Check your kids' candy. And until we see you again, much love. Stay tuned. Don't sleep. Trick or treat. And don't sleep, especially in the basement, okay? Peace.